How you doing, Willie? So I won't have to leave super randomly this time, I don't think. Which is great. I'm doing all right. Not a whole lot of stuff going on today. Giving the Spyderco a good touch up. Currently just giving the Spyderco a touch up. I do have some more stuff that I need to put up for sale that I won't be doing until after the stream. However, I did just put my ooh, that's a big burr. My Kershaw Whirlwind up for sale. Can somebody go on eBay and tell me how much these things go for? Because I feel like I overpriced it, but I'm not 100% sure. That's dirt, because I was digging in the dirt with my Spyderco. Pro tip, don't dig in the dirt with Spydercos. It gets dirty. If you want to hear more of those pro tips, then stick around because I point out the obvious all the time. Okay. Now we will continue on the other side. $60 to $250. So 90 doesn't sound all that bad then. It really goes for that much? It's a lot of freaking money for 8CR. Well, that's going to be somebody's grail knife. Yeah, I was going to say, for some reason, they're really expensive. Now, I want your guys' opinion on a fair price for that thing. That's insane. Okay, so here's mine. I have two of these. So there's a little bit of fading going on the wording. And it's more pronounced in person than it is on video. But the only real problem with this knife specifically is if it'll, yeah, it was dropped right here. I know it's rare. No, they're like, it's either plastic or FRN. That's a hard question to answer. Are you asking for a suggestion on what you should get? Also mildly curious how you got bold and italics. Costa Rica. Damn. Rainbow color knife. I no longer have that. We're working on it. It's closing in. How you doing? Osvino. Probably. I would agree that I'm probably safe at $90. I don't think that 90 is too much. It's pretty expensive, but for what it is, I don't think it's all that bad. Brazil. You got people from all over the place. Dang. Albuquerque, New Mexico. I just shipped a knife out to New Mexico. What's the place called? Carlsbad, New Mexico. Do I need... Does it still have a burr? Yes. I will swap sides again. It's definitely unfortunate when stuff like that happens. Wish there was an easier way to take care of that kind of stuff. How are you doing? For police work. Spyderco makes a knife called the Spyderco Police. I'm not going to say it's the best for police work. However, considering the name of the knife is the Spyderco Police, I'm going to say it's probably pretty good for everyday carry. The downside, yeah, I did sell the Iridium. I have another one though. And that one's going up for sale here pretty soon too. I'm not going to call it new in box, but it has the box. Overpriced. Microtech is pretty up there too. Yeah, this one's not new in box. It needs some help. It sounds horrible. Not a whole lot. Just stuck my Kershaw Whirlwind up for sale. M390 gets expensive. It's the guy that takes his socks off for a living. Spyderco is pretty expensive here too. There it is. Oh, and I finally made a sign. It says I'll be back eventually. People eat pudding out of shoes? I have not heard this story. There's a lot of knives in 14C28N. I do not. This stuff just sharpens up beautifully. PSD, I did, and I traded it for a watch. I actually traded it for the giveaway watch. which the giveaway still hasn't been done yet, but Kershaw does a lot of stuff. They really do. The PSD wasn't a bad knife. I didn't like the color particularly. Abdul, how you doing? I got a lot more people in here than usual, or at least a lot more people that are talking. I don't usually get a whole lot of people talking in here. $225 for a replacement blade. On what? The smock. It looks weird. The smock looks really weird. I gotta show that off because it looks weird. Micro Jimbo looks pretty weird too. I'd buy it though, if it wasn't overpriced. The smock I wouldn't buy though. I'd accept it if it was given to me, but I wouldn't buy it for myself. That one. I'll put it this way. I've never held one, so I don't know how it feels. It just doesn't look like something I would carry. And the fact that I have to buy a Lynch Northwest clip for it too. I don't know. It is right in my sweet range for. It's in my sweet range for blade length. I like knives that are between 2.5 and 3.5. Yeah, I don't see much of a point in putting holes in the handle. Because let's be honest, you're not saving a whole lot of weight. The PSD, well, I had a PSD 2. Let's put it that way. I don't think I had the original. But let me think here. I might go for the PSD before. Yeah, but we're talking about the holes in the handle. There's 3 holes down here in the handle. You're not saving weight. They make the knife go faster. Yeah, when you drop it and then it falls onto the ground harder. 45. And the only reason it's going for 45 is because it comes with a lanyard, and I have no clue how to tie a lanyard. So, well, if that was the attachment point for paracord, it's going to get cut in half every time that you close the blade. So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to do that. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, that's a lanyard hole down in the other corner. That right there is a lanyard hole. think if I'm going to do a lanyard, I'm probably going with a staircase knot. Viper Tech. I've heard the name before. I have never held one. I don't know. I don't know what the holes are there for. Like, I can understand, let's put it this way. I can understand you taking holes out of the liners, like they do with this one. You won't be able to see it because I'm not taking it. Oh, yep, there you go. That's for weight, but you don't need to drill holes in the G10. There's no point. Nitro V is not a bad steel. It's just soft. It drops up really nice. Well, that was interesting. My Xbox just opened up the. I'm gonna go shut that off now. That's weird. That was weird. Xbox just turned itself on and opened the tray. I've got a CRKT squid with holes in it. If we're going to talk about Halo, in my opinion, the best Halo game I've ever played was Halo Reach. One of the most depressing storylines in a game, too. Nope, not going to give you a mod. Nice try, though. You're the first person that's asked in months, by the way. You can disagree with me all you want, but it's a good game. It is a really good game. Dude, if half my subscription disappeared, I would be so sad. Just 450 people decide to unsubscribe all at once. I would be miserable. The amount of effort it took to get this far. Oh my god. I always sound miserable, yeah, but I would have actually been miserable. Something to think about is, yeah, I don't have enough people in here to not respond to almost everybody. The only Halo games I actually played were Halo Reach, Halo 3 ODST, and Halo 4. I didn't have a whole lot of money, and Halo 3 ODST was given to me, and so was Halo Reach. And I played Halo 4 on somebody else's Xbox. So, favorite game in general? That's a hard question. Huh. Oh, what's the game called? Sniper Elite V2, I think. GTA 5 wasn't bad. Wood carving, actually, I had a lot of fun doing that when I was a kid. Borderlands 2. Oh my god. I loved that game. Up until my controller got stick drift. Black Ops 2 was pretty good. Black Ops 1 was pretty good. I don't think people give that game enough credit, but that was one of my favorite games. You know what else didn't get enough credit and didn't last very long? Titanfall. The first Titanfall. That was one of my favorite games. I whooped ass in that game. I liked all the Easter eggs in Black Ops 1. This one isn't designed for stabbing, it's designed for slicing. I haven't played a whole lot of the COD games either. I know they come out with a new one like every year, but what's the point in downloading the same game from the same three different AAA companies? When was the last time they made? I'm gonna get some flack for saying this. When was the last time that they made a good game? Activision's falling apart. Uh, like they're just sad. Black Ops 3 wasn't bad. It wasn't the best, but it wasn't bad. Having the extra movement was interesting, which is probably why I like Titanfall so much. But Titanfall didn't have an offline mode. Well, I don't have a PS4 and I don't have a I'm stuck with the 360 at the moment. I'm hoping eventually I can afford whatever Microsoft's coming up with next. Nope, not my kind of thing. And the roadkill around here is always deer. So I don't know. I don't want a PC. Well, I use it specifically for YouTube. My last Xbox died, by the way. Rest in peace. That thing was 11 years old and has been getting used daily for the last 3 years or so. So, F in chat for that. It was the red ring of death. Yep. I think what I got a 4141 code, which is a internal device failure or something. Dude, it sucked because we're in the middle, like we're watching Kitchen Nightmares, and it overheated every once in a while. It did its thing, overheated again. I turned it off, turned it back on, and then the red ring showed up, and I'm like, damn. Not much you can do about that, but we have a spare one that's brand new. Well, mine's a 360 Slim. It's not the OG Xbox 360. They fixed a lot of the problems from the original in that one. I'm not saying it's perfect, but I'm going to say this is sharp enough. Oh, we are also moving over to a different kind of grease, by the way, on all of my knives. We're moving over to this stuff because I want to try it out. I don't know who Kurt is. Anyway, the first knife that we're going to be swapping to this stuff with, this is clear synthetic grease instead of the red stuff. Never met the guy. I know who he is, but I've never met the guy, so. We're going to go ahead and take this thing apart. I'll be getting one of those one of these days too, an ultrasonic cleaner. We'll be using that to clean knives more thoroughly. It is. It's a Kershaw leak in carbon fiber. One of the better looking leaks. Stonewash blade finish. CPM 154. If you're ever curious how to take one of these things apart, open it first. Any assisted knife, make sure it's open before you take it apart, because stuff will go flying if it isn't. And you will regret not having it open. I don't know who that is, but I will look into it real quick. If you give me a sec to take this out. I just sold a rainbow one. They're not cheap. But I sold it for probably the best deal in the last year. So yeah, I used red grease before. Now we're moving over to the clear stuff. The clear stuff is also dielectric grease. I don't think that changes anything here, considering we're not working with electronics. Just wipe down all the parts. This is a Kershaw leak. Ooh. Unused Q-tip. Hell yeah. Okay, move that out of the way. We'll grab the, look at that carbon fiber finish. I love that. I don't know, oh, the rainbow one? Yeah. It is a little slick. No, but I've seen one of those up for sale. They are pricey. This one is just regular carbon fiber. This isn't the glow version. I will show that carbon fiber finish up close here in just a sec. I want to clean it out first because, well, might as well. That look is just wild. Really, really wild stuff. Not bad. The Deca is a great knife. I've yet to own one, but I know everybody loves it. And it's not as flimsy as the you liked the flash enough to get different scales for it? That's a first. I hope we're thinking of the same knife when I say that, because if we're not, then I just sound like a D-bag. I'll check in a sec. It's been a while since I've looked at it. Hogue prices are a little bit high. SOG makes a lot of assisted opening knives. So please do not hate on me for mixing them up. They make a lot. Okay, that is all cleaned out. Now we will okay, we'll look up the flash. It's the flash, right? Yeah. Okay, that's not the one I was thinking of. I buy from Blade HQ, yeah. So this one is not the one I was thinking of. I was thinking of the yeah. I was thinking of the Flash 2. The Flash 2 is just really cheap. One of these ones with that weird locking mechanism. That's just a really cheap knife right there. So I'm glad I looked it up because we're thinking of two completely different knives right there. Now let's get the new grease real quick. Apparently this stuff is where did it say that it was like yeah, compatible with most lubricants, outlast, blah 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 blah. Excellent adhesion, impervious to salt water. Someone go sub to this dude. He's one of my mods. And I've followed him for we've been working together for over a year now. It's been a long time. Damn. It is a leak, yeah. Actually, that kind of sticks exactly where I want it to. Yeah, a lot of the grease stuff that I work with sticks to the Q-tip and just stays there and doesn't adhere to anything else. So I'm actually pretty happy with how this is going. Here in a minute, I'm probably going to need to go and grab some more Q-tips because I am pretty close to out. Okay. Yeah, it's from Harbor Freight. It's like $10 for this whole thing. I haven't held a Bel Air. I've had the chance to, but I didn't. And what is it, 200 now? When I first checked, I think they were 150 when it first came out, and it's a little pricey. It also depends on what their heat treat's like now. Because when Kershaw first came out with the Bel Air in MagnaCut, they started off with it sitting at like 59 HRC, and MagnaCut does its best at around 65. Companies didn't want to run it that high, so it's just kind of a little bit of disappointment every time that you think about using it. Well, that's how I look at it. I'm very picky. So I take everything that I say with a grain of salt, but understand that I know what I'm talking about most of the time. And if I don't, I look it up. And then I'll admit that I'm wrong when I'm wrong. One of the few people that'll do that nowadays. So knives, did you hit 5,500 yet? Okay. Might as well put a little bit of mineral oil on that side while we're still apart. I think this side I'm going to leave unlubricated this time. Because every time that I do it on this side, it leaks into the grease area and causes the grease to start breaking down, which is unfortunate and really annoying. Let's fix chat real quick. But I don't like doing it with no lubricant. You can't do it on this one. Oversized washers on this doesn't work out. Specifically on this side, we'll do a 1 drop right there, and that's it. This is the largest that'll fit over this right there because of the spring that's sitting there. I do not have any gravity knives now. I find them to be overpriced for what you're getting, or I would have had one by now. Believe me, I would have had one by now. The Riot Exo knives look insane, but it's $300 for a gravity knife. I don't find that to be worth it to me. Just way out of my price range. You know, it'd help if you stayed there. Come on. There you go. That wasn't that hard, was it? And I mean, they're perfectly legal where I live, too. It's just expensive. I'm literally just your average everyday dude. I'm not. Most companies don't send me stuff for review. Shout out to the ones that do, by the way. Gin knives, they're great. Fun to talk to. They also do have really good, from what I've seen, good quality control. And from the people that know me, quality control is a big deal. Another thing that's a big deal to me is customer service, which is why I will always recommend, as long as they keep up with how they have been, Hogue. They have great customer service. Treated me great when I needed a new pocket clip. and had it sent out within like 2 days. Which I know that sounds like it should be a regular thing. Boy, that's tight. Yep, no problems. I don't think I'm going to notice a difference, honestly. I don't think there's any... We could transfer or swap every one of the leaks that I have, though, while we're here. So I might just do that. This one's up for sale, by the way, on my Blade Binge account. I've got 4 at the moment. Here in a few weeks, I'll have like 8. And then 5 of the 8 will be up for sale. What did I tell you guys? If you're going to take a leak apart, open it first. Someone sold a TV on Blade Binge. How'd you pull that off? It's not even an accessory. It's not a knife. It's not an accessory. Is it against their TOS? Shipping for that thing had to be a nightmare. So yeah, this leak is up for sale. It is not in 14C28N like all the other ones are. This one was made in 2007. 14C28N didn't come out until 2009. So this one is made out of 13C26. No, I'm more interested in the fact that it sold. That somebody bought it. That's the wild part to me. So here's how a regular Kershaw leak looks. Go ahead and wipe it off real quick. It's dirty, but it's not dirty. Well, the stuff won't come off. That's what I mean. And it doesn't feel dirty. Will it come off? No? Finger's still clean. For anybody curious, I put some isopropyl alcohol on it to see if it would come off, and nothing came off, so... Not that it matters, that's the inside of the knife, you're not going to see any of that. Tweezers for the spring. Wipe off the spring. Good. Now we can try something new that I haven't tried before. Grab an X-Acto knife that's flat and just scrape it all out and wipe it off. For anybody curious, I'm definitely wiping this all over my pants. 100%. If you couldn't tell that was sarcasm, I'm sorry, you probably don't belong here. I keep a microfiber on me whenever I'm doing this stuff, so no, I'm not wiping this crap on my pants. That is the most of it. Dude, I'm going to be selling a crap ton of knives. I'm getting my first Chris Reeve. I really want one of those things. And apparently I wanted enough to sell a couple of my grails, which is interesting. Because I'm just going to use it. That thing's not staying in a box. I'm actually carrying it. I'm not going to ask how many people you know that'll carry a $700 knife, but how many people do you know that will carry a $700 knife? That's one of those things where when somebody says, "Do you have a knife?" I say, "No, I don't." Not for you, anyway. I've told people, you don't realize how bad people treat knives until you get an expensive one and hand it somebody else. Prying, stuff that you just don't need to do. Well, that was grease, not blood, but okay. Pretty well cleaned. For what used to be an olive drab green, it did not stay green. But this knife is almost old enough to vote, so a little bit of color fade doesn't surprise me. Get some more grease. I should probably just go get the Q-tips now. And y'all get to look at my new sign while I'm going and getting them. Bam. Decided to grab the phone charger too. Along with a whole bag of microfiber cloths. Now we'll plug the phone in. And continue where I was. Okay. Winco Q-tips. I always thought I used Dollar Tree. Apparently not. They were cheap though. Pill bottles, great for holding Q-tips, by the way. They're not watertight though, so keep that in mind. At least most pill bottles aren't. Good enough. This lasts me like 3 weeks for cleaning. But I brought the whole box down, so I mean, it's not like I'm going to run out anytime soon. And phone's plugged in. Okay. Now we can continue with where we were going with this, which is needing a Q-tip. The whole reason why I went up there. So you'll get some of this grease. Right there. You want to put it in this side mostly and spread it along this whole line. This stuff is here to prevent wear on the aluminum. Okay. That's your fault for buying a Hender. I'm glad you like it. Okay, now the spring goes in. Get a little bit, not quite on the tip of the spring, but up towards the end where everything moves. I was just telling everybody I'm planning on selling a whole bunch of stuff in my collection, specifically some of the stuff in my Grail box, to get a Chris Reeve. I'm going to get a Sebenza 31 with the glass blasted finish and the Insingo blade shape. I'm expecting it to run me like $650 or so, which in all, it's a lot of money. I'm not going to lie. It's a lot of money for me anyway. Grab this. There it is. The scented mineral oil. So yeah, as I was saying earlier, being that this was made in October of 2007, 14C28N, the blade steel that the leaks are normally made out of, hadn't been released yet. So the previous version, the previous steel they used was called 13C26. And I think they have pretty, from what I remember, they have pretty similar attributes. The biggest difference, I think, being that 14C28N is more stainless, which I don't find that being a big deal because I don't have a whole lot of 13C. I have 2 knives with 13C. But I don't think I've seen complaints about it rusting. So that's something to keep in mind. This is up for sale on Blade Binge right now. And if I can get it back together, I'd love to do it under the camera, but apparently that ain't gonna happen. Get in there. There. Finally. These are a bit of a pain in the butt to try and do. Well, here's the thing. As much as I'd love to just drive down to the Chris Reeve shop, they don't sell them in the shop or in the factory where they're made. They send them out to dealers only. So you can't buy them directly from them. Isn't that fun? But they have one example of almost every model they've ever made in the shop, so that's cool. Bunch of fixed blades. They've got like, I think they're called Guardians, but I'm not 100% sure. They have Incosis, they have Sabenzas, they have the Nandis. They've got a lot of interesting stuff in the store. But I can't call it a store because they don't sell anything. So do with that info what you will. There's almost no reason in showing up other than for a factory tour, because they won't let you buy anything from the store. Bet you didn't know that. The next leak. So yeah, this one's up for sale. And it is up for sale on let me find it. It'll be just a second. Nope, cold steel isn't my thing. You can find it here on this QR code. It's selling for $35 plus shipping, I think. Solid price. Been fully redone by me. And where's some paper? Give me that. Nice and smooth. Push cuts. Yeah, most larger knives aren't my kind of thing. They don't fit my hands very well. And I figure if I'm going to carry something, I'm going to carry something that I'm comfortable with. But for reference, I mean, S45 and MagnaCut are supposed to be in similar, what's it called? They're competing for similar spots. Like S45 VN and MagnaCut are both supposed to be all-around steels. Just kind of good at everything. Yeah, they won't let you flick it in store. They don't like you doing that. Yeah, I was going to say, they really don't like you doing that on any of their stuff. That also, that's the reason why I'm buying brand new, is because I've been told that it voids the warranty if you flick it and they notice. It voids the blade warranty, I think. I'll need to ask them. I'll need to roll in and ask Tim before I make that claim for sure, 100%. But the last time I talked to somebody, whoever it was, they said that it voids the warranty. So, careful with that. So for the frame locks, they're built a little bit different. All of this is milled on the inside of the frame because it doesn't have a second piece or a second, they don't have liners. So yeah, you can see how it's turning orange and brown. Like in here, how it's no longer fully dark red like it was. It is decomposing faster than I expected it to. The grease is decomposing faster than I expected it to, which is interesting. How you doing, KM? No, we're talking about Chris Reeve, not Kershaw. Kershaw, I don't think I don't think there's anything that voids their warranty. I'll need to talk to them about that because I am curious now, but I doubt I'm going to find the time to ask somebody or to remember to ask somebody. That's my biggest problem is memory. Okay, so we're going to do that X-Acto knife trick because that worked out pretty well. East Sunny, how are you doing? Welcome to the channel. Nope. Yeah, I don't have any Chris Reeve knives at the moment, so. Yeah, we were talking about how the Chris Reeve factory. I think it was Tim I was talking to about it, but God, it's been a long time since I've talked to him. I'm hoping one of these days we can go out shooting. I'm not saying a full slow roll, but when you flick it, what happens is, I don't know if you've noticed, they don't have lock bar inserts. They have a giant ball bearing. And the way that they know that you flicked it is the blade over travels slightly, just very, very slightly, and causes extra wear from the ceramic ball bearing on the blade, and they will just know that you've flicked it. Now, I don't think it happens on the first time or anything, but if you do it often enough, they'll notice. Somebody explained it to me. Somebody that works there explained it to me. But again, it's been a long time. I don't know if they still have the same. I don't know if they're still picky about it. Because what it causes extra wear that doesn't need to be there when you flick it open. And plus, Chris apparently really doesn't like flippers. Like, really doesn't like flippers. He has a whole thing about it, too. It's interesting. I find it kind of funny. But I am taking after him on the design that Knives, I guess, and I are doing. You're the only person talking, so I'm not going to have you apologizing for being the only person talking. We have 60 people in here and nobody's saying anything, so that's kind of up to you. We're going to go ahead and remove this one as well and clean it because it looks kind of dirty. It is weird having 60 people in here and nobody's saying anything. But maybe it's just people are curious about what I'm doing. Who knows? What I do know is a lot of new people are here. We're going to go ahead and clean that off. I wish there were more YouTubers and professionals. You don't need to be calling people names. But yeah, I wish there were more professionals in their field that would admit when they're wrong. But no other, or most other knife manufacturers don't use ceramic ball bearings. Like this right here is a regular ball bearing, it's small. The ball bearings they use, I think, are a little bit smaller than this is around. So it's a huge ball bearing, and that's all that's riding on the blade. So when the frame closes and presses up against here on the blade, all that's touching the blade is the ceramic ball bearing. There is no titanium contact with the blade ever. They're well designed. I mean, they think of a lot. I'm not going to say they think of everything, but they did a good job with it. Is it a big trail? Like, well, yeah. So you see the trail on this? This is what we're referring to right here. Is this tiny line? That's the trail. So it's not a big trail. You'd think it is. I do encourage you guys to look into these companies, by the way. They're significantly more expensive than you think you want to spend, but when you've been into the hobby this long, I mean, it's got to happen eventually, right? Interesting. I've never seen a Sabenza taken apart on a table. They have a Sabenza model taken apart in the shop. This thing's really magnetized. Like, well, I won't pick that up, but it's noticeable. More grease. Okay. Okay, that looks good. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of times, most people in my streams don't talk. And then at the end of the stream, when I've got like 5 people in there, 2 of them talk, and we have a conversation because there's nothing else to do. And I don't mind talking to the people that are watching because for some reason, content creators find people annoying, yet they're the only reason you're doing anything. So grow up and deal with it, I guess. Well, if he said it's nothing to worry about, then I'm going to agree that it's nothing to worry about. His design, I mean. I need to find a way to convince Tim to hang out with me. Pure entertainment purposes. Damn it. Backspacer fell out. Time to fix that. Right there. Okay. Move you up. Nice. Yeah, if I'm hitting such big numbers, obviously what I'm doing is interesting. Somebody's interested. Because my usual numbers sit around 20. You want to know what it is? I promise you, part of what's missing is that ceramic ball bearing. It doesn't feel right without it. I know you guys are seeing this blade pull on. That's what I'm talking about. Whole thing's magnetized. Do they use steel screws or titanium? And that's a genuine question. I think they're titanium. And I don't know how you harden titanium. I've never worked with it, so nope, Chris Reeve. We're talking about spendy stuff tonight at the moment. I'm swapping over all my leaks to use a different kind of grease. So that's what's going on the table right now. I have been doing just fine. The design that Knives, I guess, and I have been working on is moving forward. They've asked what colors we want for the samples. We're going with yellow. Yellow will never be used in production, so we're just going to go with yellow. And stonewash blade, because it'll just look better over time. It has been a while. It feels tighter than it should. Something's going on here. Stainless screws. Huh. Okay, why is this so... What is so tight about this? But I don't want that falling out. Is it sharp? Who am I kidding? Yes, it's sharp. But something's... That could be sharper. We'll sharpen this in a bit. I'm going to be honest, I've never had problems stripping screw heads. The biggest problem I've had is stripping my my bits. I use really cheap bits because they're cheap. And yeah, that's the only downside I'm finding that I don't think I'm going to like about the Sebenza is those thumb studs are sharp. They are sharp. But it's smooth. So I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm going to have problems with it or not. We'll find out. I mean, I'm expecting to have it by next year. They do make a big difference, but these have a lifetime warranty. And I can go into my local Harbor Freight and get another set. The grip on what? Let go, you stupid. The grip on the screwdriver, or yes, it is kind of slick. The leaks, the stainless leaks tend to be that way. The aluminum ones are a little bit less slick, contrary to what you'd think. Yeah, they are Pittsburgh Pro. Yep. Lifetime warranty. So you just walk into your local Harbor Freight after you break one, say, "Hey, I broke one and I got it." Don't tell them when you got it, but if they ask if it's been within 3 months, you say yes. Even though they have a lifetime warranty, I don't know why they'd ask. Like it says on the back of the box, lifetime warranty. What did you swap them with? I didn't know that people made aftermarket thumb studs for them other than different colors. Oh my god, this is annoying the hell out of me. The charger for my phone is like right in the way of everything that I'm doing. So if you guys will give me a minute. Let me have it set up the right way, because apparently I set it up the wrong way. Well, you got to send me a picture of them, because now I'm curious. And I might look at them on stream, I don't know. I really don't want to be $1,000 into the build. Let's put it that way. By the time I'm done, I kind of want it to be like maybe $50 over MSRP. And if I really want to ball out, then get titanium screws for it. But I'm selling a lot of the stuff in my Grail box to afford this thing. And by a lot, I mean 2 out of 8. It's a quarter of the knives in there, so that is a lot. I'm second guessing myself when I think about it, whether I want to sell my ZT or not. Because the money from the ZT is going straight to the Sebenza. Yeah, I mean, if you're like knives, I guess, you'll spin the weehaw thing and it'll go woohoo and go flying. I still have that video up on my channel, by the way. I clipped that and put it on my channel. It was pretty freaking funny. Because the weehaw screwdriver or whatever is on bearings, and he forgot to load down the bits, and when he spun it, they just went flying. He never found those bits, by the way. That was months ago. But yeah, like this one's kind of smooth. Not as smooth as his, but you know, it has 3 bits in it, and there's O-rings, rubber O-rings to hold them in place. And he didn't put the O-rings down, and they just went flying. I was genuinely laughing so hard when that happened. How you doing, Aiden? Ooh, police sirens. I wonder where they're headed. Saw an accident yesterday. Pretty gnarly. Back end of the... Um, probably not. I have seen in the last... Give me a sec. In the last week, I've probably met 1,500 people. So I hate to say I don't, but I don't. There we go. Now let's look at that, those thumb studs, because I am curious. I need hardened steel bits. Do. Oh, yeah, I've seen those. Yeah, like this. Those are interesting. I'll think about it. I don't know. What are they made of? Are they stainless or titanium? Don't blame me for wanting a whole titanium build. That's called an obsession. Hi again. How you doing? And you didn't do that last time, guaranteed. Nobody walks in and says hi that many times. Okay. Got a song stuck in my head. I think it's called House on Sand by... I don't remember who it's by, but it's a good song. Just jumped at getting... Yeah, I could see that. How you doing, Aiden? Those... The original thumb studs do... They are pretty uncomfortable looking. Okay. There we go. So this is the fourth leak. I don't have any more leaks after this. I do have more Kershaws, though, that are spring assisted. I don't know. I have no clue. I guess I can show you. I mean, here's what happens. No, I'm not going inlays. I don't like inlays. So this spring, right in here, this you want to push all the way up. to where it's like that. The tip of this spring goes into this hole right here. And we'll just do that real quick. You got to look down like this. And just make it fit somehow. There we go. I'm just going with glass blasted titanium. Then you put this on the other side with the long hole right there going where the spring is and pulling it back into place. Then you adjust the spring in, or the back spacer into the right position. With the screwdriver, like that. I don't think I want mine made on a certain date. I just want one. If I'm going to pick one, it's probably going to be April 28th. I'm not 100% sure. I think that's when my gnarliest cut was. Then the pivot screw. Okay. Yep, need to loosen it a little bit. Better. Yep. So this is my leek that's in the best condition other than the carbon fiber one. But it is by far the best looking. I think it has the factory edge too. It does. Yep. Large. I would have gone with a small, but the handle isn't as comfortable as the large. The large is just so much more comfortable. And how long is the large? Like 3.5, 3.75 or something? I'll deal with it, honestly. Now let's see, where were we? We were sharpening something, then we stopped sharpening. Started taking stuff apart to swap stuff. I do have more stuff that I can swap. Well, my sweet spot for blade length and handle length is about 4 inches, and blade length, my favorites are between 3 and 3.5. I will happily carry something that has 2.5 to 3, but anything above 3.5 is starting to get a little too big. Holy crap, that got hot. Anyway, I can start showing off the stuff that will be going up for sale that was in the Grail box. It's been sharpened, but it's a solid knife. Paper. 3.6 is great. I don't like that knife. The Zahn, I don't like that knife. They also didn't make it in a blade shape that I wanted, but it is weird. The blades that are longer than 3.5 get so much bigger, so much faster than you think they would. Like, this one's fine, sitting at almost 3.5. So 1, 2, 3. No, that's at 3 inches. This is great, right here. This is a little small at 2. And then 4 is just massive. I think this one's like 3.5 or something. Yeah, this one's a little over 3.5, like 3 3/4 almost. And it's just huge. And I don't have much of a use for it. Which is why this one's going up for sale too. Well, I have the chance of holding them before I buy something. You being in Montana, I don't see you having that much of a chance. Now, again, you being on Montana, what do you think of Montana Knife Company? Yeah, I do have a lot of knives that I don't need that you can buy. Let me pull up a QR code where you can buy them. And no, I'm not kidding when I say that. It is genuinely a QR code that'll send you to my account to buy them. The Mayhem is 6 inches, dude. That thing's massive. So yeah, this will send you to Blade Binge. Blade Binge is where I sell stuff right now. It is... I've got 4 knives up for sale right now. In case you're interested. Anybody else that's interested. I'll give you another few seconds to take a screenshot if you'd like. And it'll bring you straight over. Anything that you purchase, all the money goes straight into the channel. Not towards my personal collection. I haven't tried them out either, but they're pricey for what you get. That's the other thing. I understand that they're made in Montana. That's great and all. It does fill the whole screen. And like, this to the phone is like 7 inches. He has his phone sitting like way up here. And when he flicks that thing open, it still takes up the whole screen. It is a big knife. How you doing, Mackenzie? I want to get the KIG or the IGS out. The XL prototype or XL print that I had made. Let's see if I can get it real quick. Oh, standing up sucks. Let's not tip that over. There it is. So the IGS XL print that I had done has a 4-inch blade. And I need to show off the regular version first. So here's the regular version, sitting next to the MSF. It's a pretty beefy knife as it is. Not bad, 3-inch blade, like 3.019 inches. Just barely over 3, not enough for anybody to care. So that's the regular size one. And the XL print that I had done is this big. And when open is over 9 inches long. The thing is huge. And it's only a quarter bigger than this. And by quarter, I mean an extra quarter of the length of this is added. So it's a 4-inch blade with a 4.5-inch handle, I think. Oh, a 5 3/4-inch handle. Yeah, this thing's massive. Way too big. But he wanted something this big, so, what do you do? I was telling him what's going to end up happening if we release this one first is people are going to return it because when they think of 4-inch blade, they don't think of this. Yeah, it's only a 4-inch blade. But when you think of 4 inches, you don't think of this. You think of something like maybe this. Nobody realizes how big 4 inches is until you have it next to your hand. Like this is 5 inches. The blade is 4. It's way bigger than people think it is. And the overall length is, I think it was 9 inches overall length. It's a big knife. No, the little one is 3 inches. This is a 3-inch blade. 3.019, but that extra 019 isn't going to do anything. It's just for specifics. It's just over 3 inches. Barely. And if this was smoother and not plastic with more momentum, it would slide open with no problem. Overall length on this thing is 7 1/4. And the other one is 9. Fun stuff though. It is fun stuff to work on. So yeah, this will be going up for sale. I'm not sure how much. They sell for like $145. I'm probably going to stick it up for $100. I don't think it's a bad price. It's not the best price. 1 inch bigger is 25% larger. One inch, like longer blade wise, is 25%. Or, okay, let's put it this way, right? It would be 33% larger compared to the small one, but this came first. This is the second version. The second version is 25% smaller than this. This is 9 inches. This is 7.5. Blade is 4 inches. Blade on this is 3. It is 25% smaller. That's why when I had the print on this one done, I called it the 3/4 version because it is 3/4 in every dimension except for thickness and the size of the stop pins. I think I made sure they were the same because I wanted that thing beefy. Is there anything else I wanted to take apart? I don't think I need these right now. I need to leave in about an hour. And this time there's no extra waiting. It is in an hour I will be leaving. Because I have to pick somebody up. So let's see. I need to talk to, this will be a fun conversation. Asking Blade Binge if they'll let me sell a launch one on their website if I take the spring out. That'll be a very fun conversation. I'm sure they'll love to have. Well, technically, it's not an auto because the spring was taken out. And of course, the spring will be sold with it, but it is not an auto because he pushed the button and nothing happens. Can we all agree on that? If you remove the spring from an automatic knife, it is no longer an automatic. Because it is then a button lock conversion, I guess. I'll ask them. I'm not going to get banned for posting that thing up for sale. Not worth it. Delica's going up for sale soon. I want to sharpen it, and I've tried, and I just suck at sharpening this thing. For some reason, I just couldn't get the right angle on it. Yeah, see? I'm glad we all agree on this. That makes perfect sense right there. More of the copper customs are coming soon. Next couple months. We'll be getting more of these in. They will be also sold on Blade Binge. I hate to charge so much for it because you're only getting 8 CR. But it's a really cool looking piece. It won't be the exact same as this, and there will be custom work done to it, obviously. Not on the blade, just on the copper. But all the money of that, unless I have somebody sponsoring it, where some of it will go to them, not my kind of thing. I find that offing people is not worth getting a life sentence. So, yeah. It depends on the color and can it fly. Because tell me you wouldn't want to ride a flying horse with a horn. Like just a pitch black flying horse with a horn. Tell me you wouldn't want to ride that. Yeah. My cat is meowing at me. Let's test this stuff again. Actually, I was carrying... Yeah, we'll take apart the Civivi I was carrying today. I don't think I've seen that. I don't see a lot of movies, so don't expect me to get every reference ever. Forgot they use T8s on these things. Which I greatly appreciate. If anybody from Civivi is watching, I greatly appreciate that. Again, other than the pocket clip where they always use T6s. Now this is the knife that I took apart and did a video on a while back. I got it from pawn shop, who bought it from one of my buddies. I would have bought it directly from him, but he wanted too much. So he sold it to the pawn shop for less, and then I bought it for less than he wanted. Win-win, because the pawn shop made money. I think I made money, or I'll probably make money when I get rid of it. Depends on how much I sell it for. But it was acting up earlier, which is the reason I'm taking it apart. It wasn't as smooth as I wanted it. Ooh. You know, this time I don't think I'm going to put any lubrication on the bearings. I'm going to fill them with isopropyl alcohol and clean them out, and then but yeah, I'm having problems with this thing. It sticks sometimes. And I have a feeling it's due to the lubricant that I used. So I think possibly from now on I might not use any lubricant on ball bearings, because I don't think that they need it. I really don't. It seems like a lot of crap sticks to it. So I know I've been doing this for months, or years actually. Putting, no, it has been just months. Mineral oil on ball bearing knives. I don't think I'll be doing that anymore. Well, you have a great rest of your night. I'll be going on for about another 50 minutes before I get off. Maybe 45, so that I can get prepped and ready to go. Not that I expect it to take all that long, but I do have a few things to grab before I leave, so. Oh, that's fun. Of all the things to fall out, the pivot screw was not what I was expecting. Nope, I haven't. It's expensive. For how much you get, it's expensive. And I know I'm not wrong there. Hence why I don't buy lubricants from companies. Just specifically stuff that how'd we get 38 likes? How did that even happen? There's no way I'm that interesting. What is wrong with these? They are really grimy. That's where, right about now is where an ultrasonic cleaner would be really nice. That one's smoother than it was, so I'm going to flip this one over and do the same thing. Just absolutely drown it in isopropyl alcohol. That one's clean. It actually rolls. $70. 70%. I don't use the expensive stuff because it's expensive. Stuff's $1 for a pint? Yeah. It's $1 for a pint at the dollar store, or $1.25 or whatever. I don't see a point in spending extra, like $3 a pint to get 91 when all I'm using it is to clean stuff. It does the same thing. For anybody wondering what that question was, it meant 70% or 91% isopropyl alcohol. But we're going to put this back together real quick. This side's still a little bit grimy, but this side is way better than it was. We're going to test and see if it's smoother than it was. Not that you guys will know, but I'll be able to tell you. Because it is easy to tell when something is wrong on this. We will put some mineral oil on that right there. There we go. How you doing today? Tito. Hope I didn't butcher that name as well. This knife has been being a little bit less smooth than I wanted it to be. So I took it apart and I'm cleaning it and putting it back together so it's as smooth as I want it to be. I'm really picky with my stuff, so it's just how I be. Ooh. Well, I appreciate you guys watching. Let's see how that centering looks. I find it amazing that people find my stuff interesting. Okay, it's settled. I'm never putting lubricant on ball bearing knives ever again. This is so much smoother than any of the knives I've ever put lube on the ball bearings. That's interesting. No blade play though. There's a little bit of play when it's closed. You can see that. It hits a wall right there. But it moves a little bit. Interesting. Never had that happen before. Ooh, that could have been bad. Close it on your thumb, why don't you? Real smart. I've yet to get myself on stream. Knock on wood. Don't want that happening. For food. My knives are used for opening food, cutting food, opening packages, cutting tape. That is so much smoother. I'm taking all of the isopropyl alcohol and I'm doing this to all of my Civivis. This is ridiculous. There's no way I've been wrong this whole time putting lubricant on ball bearings. I mean, maybe there is, but I don't want to say that I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I'll admit it, but you never really want to admit it. How are you doing, 1977? Saw you not too long ago. Okay. Ball bearings out. Q-tip. You are indeed alive. That I would assume so based on the fact that your YouTube name says so. And I don't know about you, but I would hazard a guess that if you weren't alive and kicking, you probably wouldn't be talking either. Just a guess. No guarantees. How you doing, Angela? How's the night going? Yeah, these are sticky too. Okay. So it's that's all the crap that I've been using. Well, that's nice to hear. Somebody with a will to live. For some reason, that's a surprise these days. Dark humor, dark humor. Gotta have a little bit of fun. You should probably go to bed then. Trust me, when I was a kid, I used to stay up past my bedtime, and then as I get older, I regret not sleeping in as much as possible. That's how it be. As you get older, you start regretting not taking advantage of the small things. One of those things being how easy exercise is when you're smaller. You should, so East Coast, you should probably be in bed. Then again, it's summertime, so I don't know. But at 9, I think my bedtime was 10. That is horrible, by the way. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to remember that. I will remember the name, possibly, that is on the account. I don't remember nicknames very well. So I'll apologize for that up front. Your name is Angela from now on. Huzzah. Or whatever. It's, yeah, this one's still, oh. There we go. Now it's nice and smooth. Put the blade back on. Put that one on. Out of curiosity, how many people do you think I see on my live streams? Because I'm not going to say that it's a ton, but I'm not going to say it's none. I meet a lot of people. And it is very hard for me to remember nicknames. Well, when I was 9, yeah, YouTube did exist. You know what was all the rage on YouTube when I was 9? Was Minecraft songs, Minecraft parodies. Let's see, I was 9 in... What year was that? 2011? No, then I was younger when that was a thing. Safety torch, yeah. Diamond sword. There's a lot of them. You have a good one, 1977. No, I'm thinking of the ones that were actually decent parodies, where they sounded pretty close to the original. Safety Torch wasn't a parody, it was a song by itself, but yep, I'll admit I was wrong. Ball bearings don't need lubricant. I've been telling you guys for months the wrong thing, so on the bright side, you get a guy that tells you. I use YouTube Music for music now, but back in high school, I made playlists based off of music videos on YouTube. I don't listen to almost any of the music I listened to in high school, though. I apologize, but I'm not going to be able to say that name right unless you can pronounce it for me. But hi. I've come to the conclusion that if you don't try to say somebody's name, you can't mess it up. I think most people would agree with me on that one. My YouTube name is KO Knives. And originally, it was Knockoff Knives. Well, you have a good night. There we go. I am not even going to try. But hi, how you doing? Funny enough, I'll probably be streaming tomorrow. I would like to iterate, though, that my streams are not usually considered safe for children or anybody under the age of 18. Things may be said that are not safe for children to listen to. Oh, this is going to be so much smoother than it was. Probably not. It's probably going to be about the same. This didn't have much mineral oil left on it. Okay. Pretty close. There we go. Beautiful. That hurt. That jimping right there cuts pretty good when you do it wrong. First recommendation, by the way, if you're ever going to get a front flipper, when you're flicking it open, don't try. For some reason, every time that you try, like when you try hard to get it right, you will screw up. But if you don't try, you get it right more often for some reason. Fun little fact for you right there. I have no clue why it works out that way. Let's just tighten that down a little further. Okay. Oh yeah. Thank you for the subscription, Elijah. Knives. It's all about knives. I'll bet you that is the exact reason why all of these things are slightly gummy. Is because of the mineral oil I've been putting in them for so long. Alexander. I hope I pronounced that right because it's not spelled the way that I expect it to be. But how you doing? Oh, come on, come loose. There we go. Heck yeah. Yeah, you can see right here. That's all mineral oil that seeped out of the pivot area. Pretty easy. T8 screwdriver bits. We're cleaning this off because I've realized that using food safe lubricants on ball bearing knives doesn't work. And yes, I saw that pin that went flying. So what we're going to do is we're going to take out the ball bearings on all of my ball bearing flippers, and we're going to clean it up until I know what you mean by 3-in-1. If you're talking about shampoo, I use a 2-in-1. Oh. Nope, I'm not using any lubrication anymore. And I do have some of that stuff. The 3-in-1 oil, I have some of it. I just don't use it because it's not food safe. The stuff I did use is food safe. Much better. Throw away the old Q-tip, grab a new one. I'm going to close up the mineral oil so I don't mix up the mineral oil and the isopropyl alcohol. Why are you sad, person that I've never met before? Seems like a common thing these days. So, just as a heads up, I have no clue why you clarified what you were wearing. And I didn't know that 7-Eleven was still around. I have been cut a few times. It kind of sucks, but it happens. It's part of the hobby. Let's move this out of the way. Okay. Then we will clean over here as well. Appreciate the subscription. I might be hitting 1,000 subscribers sooner than I thought, which is a scary thought because I don't have the giveaway stuff ready. That's not good. Nope. I don't find that knives would be my weapon of choice in a situation. Oh, now you're going to act up again. Okay. Instead of being nice and smooth like you were just a minute ago, you're going to be gummed up again. Wonderful. There. Now, you kidding me? You were just... Yeah. Now stay like that. Grab the stop pin. Put it in the hole. Right there. Put the blade on. Much better. Cool Clips, how you doing? Welcome in. Okay, pick up the whole thing and move it. Drop this liner back on. Press. Boot knife. I don't own a whole lot of fixed blades. Let's see. I'd look into, I think it's called a QSP Canary. They make a, I think it's like a 2.5-inch blade. Now, the Yonder is a little different. It's got springs in it, so be careful with that. Look up how to take that apart, that one, because I've never taken anything apart with Omega springs. I know they're a little bit more complicated. I just don't know how much. Look up how to take apart a Benchmade, what's the thing called? You kidding me? Come on, it's really expensive for what you get. Benchmade. What's Benchmade's really thin, cheap thing? The bug out. Go look up how to take apart a bug out. It's basically the same thing. I'm like 80% sure it's the same thing. I don't know. It's still not as smooth as the other ones. Yep, no problem. Good luck. I doubt you'll need it, but it could be any Benchmade. Yes, I talk trash about Benchmade all the time. They're never going to sponsor me. No, the fact that Jin even thought about sending me stuff is amazing. The amount of crap that I talk about knife companies. Neck knife. Look into neck knives. I don't normally recommend them, but when you get used to a neck knife, it's your first thing that you're gonna reach for. I carried a neck knife for 4 months back when I first got into knives, and the one I chose was the Minimalist Warncliffe. I'm not sure if they still make that, but it was a solid knife, cheap steel, but really easy to sharpen. And yeah, it just goes in a sheath that's on that you wear like a necklace. If you're doing anything in like a machine shop, don't do that, by the way, because it will get caught in machinery. If you do anything with machine work, just don't wear a neck knife. But if you don't do machine work, it's a solid option. It's not the thing that most people think of first. Well, is there a bunch of moving stuff? Because by the sounds of it, there probably isn't. If there is, though, don't do that. We'll find you something else. There's also another option. Blade HQ sells something called a pocket sheath. They are leather sheaths that have magnets to hold them onto the hem of your pocket. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, see, that's where a neck knife comes in handy because you just grab it and pull. Really, really easy stuff. But yeah, the biggest downside is if you work around machinery, it's not going to work out. Because I don't want you getting something that you're wearing around your neck caught in a machine and then you get pulled in with it. Well, I'm honest about stuff. I'm not trying to push you guys to sell stuff or to buy stuff if I don't have to. But if you guys ask for recommendations, I'm happy to give them to you. I don't make any money from any of the recommendations that I make. Just a sec. Gotta respond to a text. There. Anyway. Oh, cleaning these. That's what I was doing. I'm almost out of isopropyl alcohol. Now, I will tell you guys the companies that I like because I like them. But no company sponsors me, so anything that I say is because I like it. If I don't like it, I'm not going to recommend it. And of course, there's some of those companies where I talk crap because I do. What are they going to do about it? Tell me to stop? Oh no. I hurted their feelings. You could scout carry on a belt. Something to keep in mind about scout carry, though, is putting it away. You need to take the time to put it away slowly. Because if you cut the shit out of your back, you're not going to be having a good day. And I wasn't thinking about gloves when this conversation came up. Neck knife is great, but again, as we were talking about machinery, it's not going to work well in that situation. Scout carry would work better, but it's going to take way longer to put that away. Boot knives can be uncomfortable. That's something else to think about is it might not be comfortable. It'll be a little bit wide in your boot, and depending on the boots that you wear, you won't be expecting it, and it'll catch you off guard. Same thing with the neck knife. Neck knife takes some time to get used to. It took me like 2 or 3 weeks to get used to it. Well, look into the different ways of carry before you make a decision. I do encourage everybody to do that, to make informed decisions before spending their money. Because you may think it's only $20, but what's $20 once a month? $20 once a month for a year, $240. Same thing with like getting coffee. Rolling your ankle with a knife in your boot's gonna hurt like a bitch. No joke, that's gonna hurt. And how you doing again? So now there's the question of why don't you want to carry one on your belt? Because there's solid reasons. There's also reasons that you'll get over it. Because it sounds like you just want to have a knife on you. It's kind of the same reason why I carry, is just because I might need it. Oh, you carry a pistol on you too? I don't think a knife weighs as much as you might think. Because your average concealed carry pistol is going to be like, what? Let me guess real quick. 30 to 35 ounces. I'm thinking with, well, don't get stabbed with a knife. It hurts. Well, it doesn't feel good. I'm not gonna say it hurts. Depends on how bad you get got. Now back to the weight of a gun. A gun weighs, if you're gonna concealed carry something, it's probably gonna be like 30 to 35 ounces with rounds in it. No, I completely understand that. Yeah, most often you don't really need to show that you're carrying. I wouldn't want everybody knowing I'm carrying either. There's certain people I wouldn't mind talking about it. I've about died from my own knives. Some gnarly stuff. Let's see, where were we? It would be so cool if I did a random giveaway, wouldn't it? I'm not doing that today, but I am curious where we're sitting subscriber wise. So I'm going to check that real quick. 968. Damn. I was at 922 this morning. That's wild. Depends on what you use it for. That's not good. Pro tip, don't drop knife parts. Oh, especially if they go under your chair. Well, sometimes I don't see every question. So, yeah. Probably $110 for the average person. I have no clue what that is. I know what a... Yeah, $110 is a great knife. I don't care what anybody says. That is a great knife. Face reveal. No. Seeing my face is not going to help you enjoy the content any more than you already do. I promise you. And hi, Samsu. I hope I pronounced that right. Drop. There we go. There we go. Oh, awesome. Now we'll put all this back together. If you give me $1,000, which I don't know how you pay me with that, I'd do a face reveal for $1,000 bucks. 1,000 US dollars, yeah. But you're 9, and I don't know where you'd get 1,000 bucks. Also, there's no way to pay me on here because donations aren't a thing on my channel right now. It is a Civivi Zizzle, Zizzle. This was a limited run it was for the Walmart Christmas knife of the year in 2024. Cool. I don't. I'm broke. The channel has some money. Channel's got about 400 bucks. I do not build knives. I design them though. Beautiful. Yeah. I'll admit it, I was wrong. Putting mineral oil in your ball bearing knives does not help. It makes it worse. Time for the biggest knife that we've taken apart so far. By far, this thing is huge. Coming in at, I think, just under 4 inches total. Just over 4 inches. Why would you be afraid to use it? Well, what did you buy it for? That's the better question. Because when I get my Sebenza, I plan on using it. I'm more referring to knives with the caged bearings like these. Well, I wouldn't put grease on it though. That's going too far. Let go. But yeah, by far the biggest knife we've taken apart tonight. Weighing in at a whopping 1 ounce. Or something like that. I miss Full Fire. I miss my PM2 so much. I really do. I don't want it back, but I miss it so much. What did get me interested in knives? I think what happened was I'm the special kind of person that goes, ooh, shiny, and then I buy it. And then I went, ooh, shiny, and bought a knife and was like, ooh, sharp and shiny. And it just kept going on from there. Yes, it was autism. But apparently saying I'm autistic is offensive to people. I miss it so much. Like every once in a while I get the urge to carry something with the compression lock, and I don't have anything with a compression lock anymore. I don't know what's so offensive about saying I'm autistic. That's Now I'm actually diagnosed, so that's great. I'm not faking it or anything, but and why would you fake that either? Like what kind of attention do you think you're going to get? Whoop-de-doo, you're different. Nobody cares. I guarantee you nobody cares. Putting this back together. Actually, this was going to be, I've told this story a few times. This channel was going to be here in Idaho. I can carry whatever I want. It'd be nice if I never paid taxes, but I pay a lot of income tax on this stuff. Dude, if that's how stuff worked, I'm not sure I'd want to stick around. Now, where were we going with this? I was talking about missing the PM2 or PM3, Para 3. I will always call that thing a PM3. I got into trains. I did. I saw a steam locomotive on Instagram and I'm like, that's sick. I'm going to follow for this now. And I did, and I think I've only been on a train like once. It's expensive to live here. Now it is. It didn't used to be. Then everybody from California and stuff moved here. Now the average house is like $300,000 to $400,000 or something. And back before the California moving here crisis, I think the average house was like 200. It was like 160 to 200,000 or something. It's ridiculous, and we can't force them out either. It is 11:15, and I think I'm probably going to be heading out in like 5 minutes. I might start another stream after. I don't know. I really don't want to leave because of how many people are here, and if I leave, they won't show back up. This is the most people I've ever had in a live stream. I think I peaked in this stream at like 144 people, and that's the most I've ever had. Oh, if this would stop falling, it'd be wonderful. Something I don't do on my channel, and I don't mind anybody doing it or anybody saying to do it in the comments, but I don't tell anybody to like, I don't tell anybody to subscribe, and I don't tell anybody to do any of that stuff because I find it annoying when people tell me to do stuff. But people say it in the comments quite a bit. I think I might have one more knife to do, and then we'll head out. Yeah, I wish culture was more of a... I wish cultural appropriation wasn't a thing. That is so annoying. Like, can't I just enjoy things? What's wrong with me liking burritos? Seriously, like, what is wrong with that kind of stuff? Why can't people just like what they like and not have other people get mad about it? I don't like Tontos. Have a great day. Don't tell me what to do. I just think everybody needs to stop being so mad all the time. You know how easy it is to not be mad? Don't do anything. Bam. Don't talk to people. Bam. It's not that hard. Or like all this road rage stuff that's happening these days. It's not that hard to have a near death experience, which I have often in a car, and forget about it. People here suck at driving. I promise you they suck at driving. But there's no point in staying mad about it because it ruins the rest of your day. Just say, well, that happened, and continue on with your day. No point in being mad about it. Knives and Pizza, what's up? It is a very beautiful knife. I figured out. Actually, I have a live stream where I showed off all my knives. Plus or minus, no, minus 10. I think there were 10 that I left out. Not on purpose, but they're just upstairs and it's a pain to bring them all down. Anyway, right now, we are removing all the lubricant that I used on these knives with ball bearings because using mineral oil, and I have to admit it, using mineral oil on ball bearing knives doesn't help. It makes them stickier. So I was wrong. I've been doing this for months and never even gave them a shot dry. I just didn't. I figured they always need I always keep my knives clean. But I always just figured that knives in the pivot area need some sort of lubrication, and these things just work better without it. No, I just don't see why everybody's so offended all the time. Live your life. Oh no, somebody called you ugly. Get over it. Somebody's bullying me online. Cool. Shut the phone off. You know how hard it is to do that? It's not. You press a button and then it's off. Are they still annoying you when you come back online? Okay, block them and move on. Get over it. It's not that hard to be simple. The less drama in your life, the less mad you'll be. And the more simple life gets. All this coming from a 23-year-old who loves to see drama on the internet, so take that with a grain of salt. But I'm not wrong. Okay. That they're sharp and shiny. Yep, just sharp and shiny. Anyway, guys, I appreciate you guys sticking around. I'd love to continue the stream, but unfortunately I need to go pick my sister up from her friend's house. So, y'all have a good one, I might start a stream when I come back. I doubt it'll do as well as this one, but it's nice seeing you guys, and have a great rest of your night. We'll see you in the next one. Bye, Crab with a Knife. Have a good one.